What's going on, guys? Bank Rubber Games here, more Fallout 3, A Tale of Two Wastelands. And last episode when we left off, we completed probably one of my favourite quests in the game, that being the Replicated Man, and we explored all the sort of possible endings for that quest and made sure to get all the rewards as well. So I recommend going back and watching that if you haven't seen it, because it's a little bit of a longer episode, but like I said, it's probably one of my favourite quests of the game. But for a little while we've been doing a lot of side content, so now I think it makes sense to advance the story a little bit before carrying on exploring the wasteland and seeing what other sort of side quests we can do. So in continuing the main quest, we're doing scientific pursuits where we have to talk to Dr. Lee about Dad and Project Purity.
Good to see you.
And we'll be able to make use of the rewards we got for completing the Replicated Man quest, which is pretty cool.
Look, this is a restricted area. I'm tired of telling you people. It's you. My heavens, you look so much like him. You're James's son, aren't you? What are you doing here?
So this is Dr. Lee. Obviously used to work with our dad. Yeah, and I've always thought she's not actually a very nice person, so it's quite interesting that our dad used to work with her and sort of chose to work with her. But I guess you're very limited for staff in the wasteland.
Well, yes, of course I do. Don't you know who I am? I suppose James never told you. Typical. I'm Dr. Madison Lee. I worked with your father many years ago. Your mother as well, in fact. You'll have to forgive me, this has all been very stressful. What with your father suddenly showing up here after being gone for so long. You have to understand that we put all of that behind us. Project Purity, our work, all of it. We've moved on, even if your father hasn't. You mean you haven't? I assumed he sent you here. For that matter, aren't you supposed to be in a vault? James said he left you there. Did you? I was under the impression that's exactly the opposite of what he wanted for you. Well, you won't find him here. He's come and gone already. Your father insisted that we return to work on Project Purity. I tried telling him too much time has passed. There's no way it would work. Predictably, he refused to listen to me. He says he can prove it will work and headed off to the old lab. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to tell you. It's in the old Jefferson Memorial Building, northwest of here. Please, don't go after him. It was foolish of him to even think about going there alone. Good luck finding your father.
So Project Purity is quite cool. It's what your dad was obviously working on before he sort of went to the vault.
I do the repairs around.
And you started living your life there. But the Jefferson Memorial is actually quite dangerous. So I'd recommend either waiting till you're high level or got some good gear before moving sort of this far through the story. Obviously we're both quite a high level for this point in the game because of the amount of side content we've done, and we've definitely got some good equipment as well. Not sure why my LODs are being a bit funny. There we go. I knew it was there somewhere. yeah, the A321's plasma rifle is definitely very powerful. Just going to quick save and quick load to get rid of that corner message. Sounds like there's a centaur waiting for us the other side of this wall. I do find the Jefferson Memorial does have a tendency to crash in Tale of Two Wastelands. Again, similar to other places that I've mentioned it, it'll either crash loads and you'll have loads of issues trying to make your way through it, or be completely fine and you won't have any issues whatsoever. So we seem to be getting through it okay at the moment, but you might see me quick save quite a few times. Not quite sure how we're in the caution state. So we actually seemed to get quite lucky with the enemy spawns, and there was quite a few centaurs, and even though they were the tougher evolved centaurs or centaurs, a lot of the time I found you can get a lot of high level super mutant enemies. So like I said, we did get quite lucky, which is nice. Makes things nice and easy and hassle free getting through here.
Even in Vault 101, my work on Project Purity never really stopped. Soon after we arrived, my nightly routine included sneaking into the restricted areas, searching for, I don't know, whatever I could find. It was a Vault-Tec facility, after all. The place was built with some of the most advanced technology this country had ever developed. Those excursions never turned up anything particularly useful. So, one night, after half a bottle of scotch, I broke into the overseer's office. It was easy enough to hack his console, gain access to the restricted files. Most of it was garbage. Propaganda, spy reports, just plain rambling bullshit, really. But there was one thing, one name that stood out amongst all the others. Dr. Stanislaus Braun. I knew of Braun's work, of course. He was a celebrity in his day, Vault-Tec's sorcerous scientist, leaving his peers in awe of his technological wizardry. But it was in Vault 101 that night in the Overseer's office I first learned of Braun's involvement in Vault-Tec's Societal Preservation Program and his work on something called GECK, the Garden of Eden Creation Kit.
Part of me wonders, actually, there was a mention there of Vault-Tec's Societal Preservation Program, and they're the ones that were inventing the GECK. And have you seen the Fallout TV show and some of the big sort of reveals in that? I wonder if that has anything to do with what happens towards the end of that season. I assume a lot of people have watched it by now, but I'm not going to go into detail just in case no one has. You haven't seen it. But yeah, management and making things easier for them when they re-enter the wasteland. Well, I don't know.
To be honest, the GECK sounded like pure fantasy, even for someone of Braun's capabilities. It was nothing short of a miracle. A terraforming module capable of producing life from complete lifelessness. But not only was this thing a reality, it was actually distributed to several vaults to be used after an atomic war. Vault 101 was, sadly, not on that list. I did some digging and discovered Braun's name on the reservation list for a Vault 112. I'm no slouch, but this man, he could have easily succeeded where I failed. Does his collected knowledge remain within the halls of Vault 112? Journals, holotapes, computer records, maybe even experiments. If I could gain access to just a fraction of Braun's genius, Project Purity would become a reality.
And again, it makes me wonder if we'll see it in the, a GECK, or there'll be mentioning of a GECK in the season 2 of the Fallout show, because there was the mentioning of the water chip in season 1, which I thought was very funny, and with the story of the first game.
I'm off to Vault 112 to search for anything of Braun's that might help me get this purifier up and running. All I know is that it's west of some place called Evergreen Mills, and it's well hidden in some sort of garage. But I'll find it. I have to. It's so close, but that's the story of Project Purity, isn't it? An eternity of almost theirs. Let's see if Braun has the missing puzzle piece.
So that obviously gives us a quest marker for completing the next stage of this quest. And it's quite a memorable part of the game, this. So if we look on the map, so you have to go all the way over here to Smith Casey's garage. We've obviously already got the map marker for it, because I made sure to get that earlier on in the game. I think it was when we went over to the Yaguai tunnels to get some of the bobbleheads. And I'm going to see if I can try and get this done this episode. Like I said, it's potentially quite long. All happens at once, doesn't it? That's the reason why I like the perforator. Again, because there's a death claw, I just want to check that there aren't any corpses with the death claw gauntlet schematic on them. And there's obviously someone fighting over here as well. Looks like it was just the Brotherhood of Steel.
Open fire! Look out!
And I'm going to run away. We're safe getting, well, save that happening. It's fine for us though. Nice little detour. We've already explored this little sort of roadblock here. I think. Maybe not. Those things have just sort of respawned. Must have looted this because all the ammo containers are empty. Might have just missed. I must have just missed the med kit on the back of that truck there. Could have sworn that there was a tumblers today. Gilbert, there it is. I lock pickings at 100 so we can't make use out of it, but it's good to know that it's there. So all the other vaults we've seen so far have all been like sort of broken into and in ruins. But Vault 112 is quite interesting in that it's still sort of intact in comparison to the other vaults.
to Vault 112, resident. According to sensors, you have arrived 202.3 years behind schedule. Please redress in your Vault Tech-issued vault suit before proceeding. Once dressed, please proceed down the stairs to the main floor so that you may enter your assigned Tranquility Lounger. Please find the nearest Tranquility Lounger and be seated.
I can't remember what the bonuses are. Melee weapons and speech. So before we follow the quest, obviously we're going to have to look for loot. I don't know if we can pick the door actually. No. You have to hack this terminal to get into this room. Got quite lucky there and got it quite quick. That did level us up as well. Quite nice. See what new perks we get at level 24. So this is quite a handy perk, the Master Trader perk, and it does improve your buying price for all items in the store by 25%. So it's pretty significant. So I'd recommend getting this if you enjoy buying a lot of things from the store. So I think we'll go with Basher Harder as well. Just because I do like weapon bashing. I do like weapon bashing as a mechanic. You know, it will also allow us to unlock a couple more perks to really show off. Actually, how like deep this mod is. It's yeah, a lot more in depth and adds a lot more sort of features through the perks than you would expect for a simple weapon bashing mod. Very, very cool. And again, that'll be linked down in the description below. Potentially actually some decent loot in here if you come here before exploring other areas and you are a bit of a lower level. But you might have noticed over here next to the laser rifle there is the overseer's room password, and you need this in order to get into that bit upstairs that I was looking at. Can't remember if there's anything this side of the room. It's interesting that here we have another tranquility lounger, and there's a very old man inside. Fortunately, can't do anything. Might look a bit familiar, but again, we can't access this tranquility lounger. The only option we have is to access this tranquility lounger that's unoccupied. See if we can. Their stress levels are elevated and they don't belong here. I'm guessing you guys have a good idea of who that is. Looking at how long this episode has been, I was hoping to get this next section of the game completed as well, this episode, but I think it's a good place to leave this episode here and start next episode by sort of being able to show off a very iconic part of the game. But thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode and been enjoying the series so far. If you have been enjoying the series, please like and subscribe for more, and then that way you won't miss out on anything. Also, any mods that I've mentioned throughout the video will be linked down in the description below, so you guys can try them out for yourself. But thanks again for watching. Always appreciate having you guys here, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.